Yesterday, it was actually a very bad one for us. PSG actually was beaten 3-1. I could not expect actually PSG to be beaten, but I started suspecting them later on and seeing their odds, how it was changing. And really, PSG is one of the team that it's now not trusted at all when it comes to this, because how can they really go on and lose this? And length is behind them, just with the different actually is two points. And of course length would be playing today and versus Paris FC. So it's really not something that I expected from PSG, but of course, all in all, the game went that way, and also PSG and others. But a disappointing one is Paris Saint-Germain. We do not expect, and this team always gives people heartbreak, and this happened the same with Bayern Munich. People expected actually over 2.5, but that one did not happen. Now, that is why we always say we play safe. Things do not go as expected, but we say winners never quit. We shall continue. Chelsea managed to beat our City 4-0, and we saw that also happened that side. And Borussia Dortmund also bet Manzi 4-0. It was actually a goals a day yesterday. For those who have played over, yes, congrats to them. But of course, that one also owed us from our premium. Of course, we saw that PSG cut us a short, but others, of course, went through. And of course, VVIP happened to go with a solo AC Milan to win. So that one was a good one for the VVIP. But of course, premium, we said that PSG happened to cut us a short, but winners never quit. So let's start today with Manchester City versus Salford. Now, this is England, of course, FA Cup, and we know that always you play exit road. So this is Manchester City that is actually piling pressure on Arsenal, as right now there's only a gap of only three, of course, the four points, and of which is actually not bad for them, for this team, Manchester City. Guardiola is making sure that this season he goes out with actually two trophies or one. For his exit, we don't know how long it will take. And Manchester City. Now, the game that Manchester City played, these two teams have ever met. At that time, Manchester City bet Salford 8-0. 8-0. That is what we know about City. City, once he lands on you, gives you actually mercilessly. So in this game, we are going to actually give over 2.5 for this game. Yes, it's a straight win for Manchester City, but we see that the odd is not favoring us, but we can go with over 2.5. We expect actually more this goal in this game. Yeah. So another game is Real Madrid versus Real Sociedad, and also we say that Real Madrid lost a one out of course, in their last 5 games, won 4, and Real Sociedad also won 3 or 4, draw 1. That means that Real Sociedad is also doing very well. Now, when it comes to Real Madrid, there's a way they play their games, and of recent they are also conceding a lot of goals, and playing them a straight win sometimes is actually not that as simple as we think. Yes, because they concede goals. So to be safe in this game, I feel we need to go with actually appropriate is over 1.5, because Real Society sits on the 8th position versus the 2nd position. This is not a big gap that you need to understand, that Real Society can score even against Real Madrid. So don't underestimate this game. Yes, at times Real Madrid behave also like PSG. The time you think that this will be a walkover, it do not happen. So this also will make us to play over 1.5. But remember, Manchester City, we played over 2.5. Then we got the third game in this very, of course, ticket, Stuttgart versus Köln. This is in Bundesliga. So Stuttgart of recent is doing very well. They won 4 matches in the last 5 games and lost 1. And of course, Cologne won their last actually won 2 out of 5 and lost 3, and they sit on 11th position now. These two teams, they've ever met. They got records that Stuttgart won 2, draw 1, but Köln has not beaten actually Stuttgart in the last 5 meetings. So this guarantee and give us that we should trust with Stuttgart to take all the 3 points, because Stuttgart has been a very committed team and is doing perfectly well if you're to look at them. Yes, so we shall give a straight win to Stuttgart to take all the 3 points. Then, of course, our second ticket, we shall go with Ajax. Ajax versus Fortuna. So now, these teams in Netherlands, we know them for being a team or teams of scoring goals. Now, Ajax of recent, also I can say that they are not being on that top, because Ajax used to be on top of that table. We know that Ajax first or second position, but right now Ajax sits on the 4th position, and of which these also Fortuna, of course, won 1 in the last 5 games, draw 2 and lost 2, and they sit on the 11th position. Now, this becomes a very unpredictable of giving a straight win to any of these teams. Now, in the last 5 meetings between these two, Ajax and Fortuna, Ajax won 3, there were 2 draws, and of course, Fortuna has not beaten Ajax in the last 5 games. Now, for us to be safe in this game, let's go with over 1.5, because if you're to look, anything can happen, can even be a draw here. Some people said to play over 1.5 is not safe, but sometimes it's safe as from many heartbreaks than playing a straight win, because anything can happen. Fortuna could even register a win against Ajax. Yes, and beat that record. So we saw it against Rennes versus PSG. Yes. So whereby Rennes in the last 5 games has not beaten PSG, but was beaten yesterday. So the record was broken. So records can as well repeat itself today. So already say this game over 1.5. Then this for second game we here for our second ticket is Excelsior versus AZ Alkmaar, still in Netherlands, and we love these Netherlands teams. So in the last 5 games, of course, meetings, Excelsior, of course, drew 4 and managed to pick only 1 win. Now, this shows that is a very tough game. And AZ Alkmaar, of course, won 2, lost 1, and drew 2 in the last 5 games. Now, these 2 teams, they have ever met, and AZ Alkmaar has won 2 in the last 5 meetings, drew 2, whereby they shared point. Now, this really also exposes something that it's not an easy one. But for us to be safe, we shall give AZ Alkmaar to at least score 1 goal. Just a single goal we are expecting from AZ Alkmaar, at least to score 1 goal. Because we don't know whether the games will end 2-2, 1-1, but or a win to AZ, but we want at least on a single goal from AZ Alkmaar if they can give us that goal. Now, the last of us in this game is going to be Paris FC versus Lens. Now, I told you already, any team, this Paris FC, if you had assessed this last month, it has been on the actual 19th position. That is the time when they shared point with the same PSG. You find that these teams that are struggling always give the time to the teams on top of the table. We also saw that last time what happened to other teams in Premier League. You find that these teams give people a run for their money. Yes. For Liverpool to pick a win against Sunderland, it was a run for their money. It was really a struggle. Then also Arsenal to pick a win on the team that is sitting on the 8th position. Also, it was a big tug of war. So this always exposes, but if Arsenal was playing a top 4 team, excluding of course Manchester United that humbled them, it was going to be a different case, and I'm sure that Arsenal would have like pick up that win. Now see Chelsea as well, they also drew with the Leeds, who are struggling. So that is why I always keep saying that don't underestimate any team that is sitting on the bottom of the table. Anything can happen. This is soccer. Anything can happen. Now that is why now most people fail, because they say, this is a sure, this is a big team, let me give it. No, you must be tactical enough, see their performance, the injuries, and so on, for you to be sure that really this team can make. So back to this length, of course, Paris in the last 5 games drew 3, won 1, and lost 1, and they sit in the 15th positions. Length comfortably in second position with 49 points, and of course won 4, lost 1 in the last 5 games. There's that time when Lens lost, of course it was a painful one, of course, that we expect that this time around Lens should remove PSG from that position, because they look unserious at this point. So for this case of this game, we shall also at least give Lens to score 1 goal, or for those who want over 1.5. In fact, we shall go with over 1.5 in this game to be safe, over 1.5, because I see length is not going to back down. They have that potential of even winning this game, because PSG look very reluctant. They are not like in the title race, because if at all they were in that title race, they would be able actually to beat up the Rennes yesterday. So that all in all, we can say that for today we got these 2 tickets, and the game for others, Burnley, of course, they are on my VIP tickets. Liverpool is there, Villarreal, those ones are going to appear there. For the VIP, I told you, really drop, and of course in box, you'll get them available. And also on TikTok, I would be also putting more 4 teams there, and you can also verify them. I said always you can choose as well to play 2 or 1 of your choice. Yes, because we said winners never quit, and do it what you can afford to lose. Don't overdo, it's also not very healthy. So I wish you guys the best, and we said winners never quit. Yeah,